Chapter 857. Alex didn't expect that Viley would ask such a straightforward question. However, he knew that Viley was simply guessing and he would never admit it. Before he could deny it, Trump chuckled and said, "Oh, Viley, you are overthinking this. Alex is our family's live-in son-in-law. If he really is from the Anderson family of Westcliff, it would be a Cinderella story. All of us would prosper." Although Trump was kind of a slack who hadn't worked for a day in his life, he knew about the Anderson family. In fact, there were not many people in the country who didn't know the Anderson family because they were so famous. Because of this, he was absolutely certain that Alex was not one of them. There were a lot of people with the last name Anderson in the world, but there was only one Anderson family. He knew Alex's life experience like the back of his hand. He lived in the orphanage when he was young, then worked on the construction site at the age of 18. Later, Lord Richard took him home when he was in his early 20s and became his son-in-law. How could such a person belong to Westcliff's Anderson family? If Alex was a member of the Anderson family, then he would be the long-lost son of Jeff Bezos. Viley realized that he had guessed wrongly upon Trump's remark. The Anderson family would not allow their descendant to be a live-in son-in-law. Even the President of the United Kingdom could not have done so. So he chuckled and said, "Oh, it seems that I misunderstood, I'm sorry. Because you are an Anderson and you know Mr. Smith, who is the spokesperson of the Anderson family, and also because Orem Grand is one of the family's properties. So I made the connection and a wild guess. I'm sorry, I hope you can forgive me." Alex smiled. "It's okay, Viley. It's my pleasure, really." In the midst of the conversation, the manager brought them to the door of the suite and said, "Mr. Anderson and his distinguished guests, please." They entered the suite. Alex invited Trump to sit in the main seat, and gestured to Nadaria, "Auntie Nadaria, please sit next to my father-in-law. You haven't seen each other for so many years, you must have a lot to talk about." Nadaria nodded with a gentle smile. "Yes, Alex, you sit with Viley then, I see you boys are quite interactive." Alex nodded hurriedly, but he kept reminding himself that he should be more cautious when speaking to Viley as the guy seemed to be quite subtle and insidious. After everyone took their seat, Alex passed the menu to the two elders and asked them to order the dishes of their preferences. Trump quickly said, "Hey, Nadaria, I still remember what you like to eat, may I?" Nadaria gasped, astonished, "No way. Do you really still remember after all these years?" Trump grinned. "Of course. I'll never forget it." Then, he lifted the menu and ordered several local Oris Hill cuisine from the waiter. Every time Trump mentioned a dish, Nadaria gaped her mouth in surprise. After Trump ordered a few in one breath, she was so dumbfounded that her jaw almost dropped to the floor. It was because each and every dish he had ordered was her favorite back in those days.